What's up, y'all? This is Storyhive on location in Vancouver with Vancity, Beats, Eats, and more. That is like my best Batman voice.
Death metal Batman.
Death metal meets
Where are
Batman.
Yeah.
Same person. Didn't know?
Yeah.
Now you know. Today on the show, we have the one, the only, Jonny Tobin, a Grammy and Juno-nominated keys player and producer, holding it down on Canada's West Coast. From crafting music for artists like D Smoke and Sarah Kang to supporting local and global talent across genres, Jonny's all about community, collaboration, and deep musical connection. Whether he's headlining jazz festivals or landing syncs with Disney or Vogue, his sound embodies synth-funk grooves and jazzy abstract magic that feels like 90s video games collided with Blue Note classics. Y'all, make some noise for Jonny. Snaps.
Yeah.
From
Insert.
Sean Kim and, all the cats that we had to put in the room. Jonny has 2 cats. Tell us their names.
Henry and Napoleon.
So cute.
They came with the names. So,
yes.
Yeah.
How come you don't want to claim that you named them that if you did?
I don't know.
You get judgment?
No, it's just like that's their given name. We're gonna respect their names.
All right. Respect to whoever named Henry and Napoleon Henry and Napoleon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they could not join us on the show today because Henry was all up in the mystery box. So Jonny, we're gonna start off the show either way you want it. You want to start talking about beats or you want to get into the eats?
Ooh. Let's go alphabetical. So beats. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I actually really enjoyed my long ride here through traffic.
Yeah.
Because I got to bump your music, your album, and earlier we were talking about, where and how we first met each other and how we know each other, which is through the live music community.
Yeah.
Like through events like Stew Jams, through our other musician friends and bringing them together to play for like Vancouver Street Dance Festival. I also have very many fond memories of house parties, specifically Thug's Mansion house parties,
Yes.
like Halloween times where there would be jam sessions.
Yeah. Faven, I think, dressed as Snoop Dogg.
I always think about that.
Yeah.
That was so funny when they showed up, and it was like, who is that?
I know.
And they're just like on the bass.
Yeah. I was like, oh, now I know who it is.
Exactly. But yeah, I have so many fond memories of those times. They're also such a blur because pretty much anything pre-COVID is a blur.
It's like, was this 2011, what year? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember the specific time we actually met. But yeah, it's all kind of a jumble of good vibes. And
a jumble of good vibes.
Good aura around that.
And, I was saying to you earlier as well, every time I meet you and see you and we catch up and talk, it's like a genuine, hi, how are you? Mm-hmm. You're always someone who I feel can lock in with presence and kindness. Mm-hmm. And I know that is something that we both exchange with one another.
Yeah, yeah. Are you a Virgo?
No, I'm a Cancer.
Okay.
Cancer and Gemini. So it's my season right now. Gemini
Sweet.
rising, Cancer sun, and Capricorn moon.
Cool.
You?
Virgo. I don't know much about astrology, but I was like, I don't know. I feel like with Virgo, for me at least...
Pragmatism. This is what I know about Virgos.
Yeah. And the sense of, I guess just perfectionism, but also just like, self-reflection and things like that. So I really do pride myself on kindness and things like that and just trying to be like real with people, not doing the small talk stuff.
Yeah. Well, this 1 hour is going to be nothing close to small talk.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Massive talk.
Massive talk. I'm so happy that you're on the show.
Yeah.
It
Thanks
means
for having
a lot,
me.
especially going into 94 episodes, building this archive of chatting with musicians, creatives, artists from Vancity between 2023 to 2025. And, we really love to go deep, especially from the beginning.
Yeah.
What I know about you is that you started playing piano when you were 3.
Yeah.
That your mom is a classical pianist.
Yep.
that you went to jazz school at CapU,
Yeah.
Capilano University,
Yeah.
and you've been working in the field of music professionally now for like a decade, which is incredible.
Yeah. Technically longer. Like
Yeah.
my first paid gig, I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
It was at a palliative care center. So I didn't really even grasp the weight of that when I was 13. I think I was on Craigslist looking for gigs.
At 13?
Yeah. So I had a jazz trio, and like funk and stuff. And I was the main person hustling that and getting gigs. And so, yeah, I would use any means necessary. Facebook had just popped up at that time.
See, this is your Virgo energy.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And so, I don't know. I found this gig, and it was like a barbecue year end for the volunteers. I think we got paid like $50 each or something.
And barbecue.
And food, yeah, hot dogs, hamburgers, all that. So, yeah, I mean, at that time, just to make money, getting paid to play music, I was really stoked. So, but yeah, full time since probably 2014, 2015. So, yeah.
I think that's incredible that you started playing at 3. Like, do you even have the dexterity with your hands yet at that age?
No, I was just kind of doing this on the keys. Yeah, we had like a bunch of old computer games, and I feel like that was the first memory of just learning the music from that by ear. And it would be very simple melodies, and like it, because those games were so old, it was like 3 sounds at once happening. So it was just really clear, distinct melodies. So I could easily just like do this as a 3-year-old on the piano, learning stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of, I've always played by ear a lot. I can read music, obviously, but from like the first memory I have is really just doing stuff by ear.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah.
Is that, do you think that's a hereditary thing that came from your mom? Because like, you know, growing up in the Filipino Baptist church that I grew up in, you know, that's where music was really instilled in me.
Yeah.
And we all had to like choose what role you were going to play in the church band. So I sang and I played the tambourine.
Cool.
But other people went with what they gravitated towards. And there were a few people who like, they could hear something and play it by ear. And I just feel like you had to be born with it.
Maybe. I don't know if you have to be born with it, but I definitely think
It's an advantage.
Yeah, it can be. I think just immersing yourself in it is kind of like, for me, that's when I got into, you know, R&B and jazz and gospel and everything. To me, all that music comes from the same source. A lot of, pretty much 99% of the music we all love is from Black American culture. And so to me, I kind of group it all within that. I think some people are like, you know, oh, jazz is this a thing, but you know, for me, it's all from one source.
Yes.
So for me, I think the biggest thing through my whole life is just immersing myself in it. And like, my mom would get CDs from the library, like Duke Ellington and Herbie Hancock and Frank Sinatra, and just, so I was growing up on all that from a young age, and I think listening to that really is just how I was able to absorb. And so I think people don't actually have to be born with something to play by ear. I think you can
train your
you can train that just through like tons and tons of listening and like hearing patterns and like the sound waves and stuff. But yeah, I also grew up in the church as well. My mom was like heavy Baptist vibes. So
oh, what?
Yeah, so yeah. So I'm like I'm still spiritual. I'm not super religious these days, but yeah, that was also a good chance to just play. Like, I think I was playing in church when I was like 10 or 9, or, you know, like doing full services at a pretty young age. So I think getting to do that, that's probably the easiest way to start growing up. It wasn't necessarily doing gospel music. Like, it was more of like the like Hillsong white type, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was still valuable for me to get to play in church so young, right? Being up there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It instilled a lot of community vibes, I felt, for me personally. Did your mom ever force like music on you, or your parents ever force that on you, or was it something that they saw you naturally want to do and then? encouraged
Music
it?
wasn't forced on me. Religion was forced on me. That's a
Yeah.
whole other time.
Yeah.
But music, my mom taught me growing up piano until I was probably 12 or 13. And then we would fight a lot with, like, I think it can be hard having a relative or a parent kind of teach lessons to you. So there was friction there after a while. And so I kind of just went off and did my own thing. And so I was kind of self-taught for quite a while. She taught me the classical and the foundations, but as far as all the jazz and gospel and hip-hop stuff that I currently do, a lot of that I started out just by teaching myself.
Yeah.
And then I did a few years of lessons like within music school. But yeah, my mom and I didn't really see eye to eye musically, but she was okay with me not taking lessons from her permanently. Like, I'm grateful that at least she wasn't like, I think some people push it too hard and then the kid will quit. And it's like, yeah, see, you could
That
be,
was me.
you could be doing, did you do piano or what was your,
that was the first, I mean, it's every Asian mom's and dad's dream that their kid will go through the Royal Conservatory of Music. That was my baby brother, because my older brother and I quit because they were too forceful on us to play. And I just was like, I don't want to practice. And we had an organ. I had to practice on an organ.
Was it
Not
like
the same the double thing?
Was it like a cool like B3 organ, like a church organ, like a gospel organ type thing? Or?
Now I would have thought it's cool.
Yeah.
But like, so long story short, is that during the good old panini, the pandemic, quick sidebar. What did you think of that?
Ooh, that's good. It's homemade?
No.
What is that?
So we'll get into the mystery
Sorry.
box
Yes,
later.
my bad.
But this cafecito is from a place called Just Another. And this is a smoked rosemary maple latte with oat milk. And they charred the rosemary.
Wow.
Made their own syrup with it. And then added a bit of maple. And I've been obsessed with it. Like, you would never catch me spending $6 on a latte.
But I think this is like good for the soul.
I have been there so many times in this past week. It's nuts.
That's really good.
A moment for the
coffee. Yes. Okay.
Necessaire.
Okay, so you were Royal Conservatory.
No,
Organ.
I was not.
Organ.
The organ.
Yeah.
I think me now would have loved it.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the Pandy and Panini.
Yeah.
I really wanted to reclaim my childhood, and I took a lesson on bass guitar with Nate, because I'm like, I always pay attention to the bass in music, but I felt like I wasn't as like physically dexterous with it.
Yeah.
So then I looked at my hands, like I literally looked at my hands, like, I should try the piano again, because I feel like this could work. And so I hit up Nate, aka Astrological, aka From Potato Head People.
Yeah.
And he switched from doing bass lessons to now piano lessons, because he always said, any instrument you want to learn, like piano is like the foundation.
It is, yeah.
It can teach you everything about music.
Yeah.
And so then I started reclaiming myself.
Oh,
and
cool.
what I loved about it is like, it is the feeling, like to put your hands on weighted keys.
Yep.
So that's why the organ was never going to work for me, because it was too springy.
You know what's funny? I'll say this. I don't own a single weighted keyboard.
Really?
Get this on record, yeah. I don't own a weighted keyboard.
I'm shocked.
I used to have one.
Yeah.
It got stolen out of my car, and I never.
Terrible.
I don't use weighted keyboards ever.
Okay.
So I'm like,
because
I don't like them that much. I like a grand piano.
Yeah.
But I don't
like the spring back.
Yeah, I kind of do, because I do a lot. Like those who have listened to my music. Hopefully, everyone watching this. There's a lot of synths in it and all that. And for me, playing synth sounds with a weighted keyboard, no, it's not. It's not a vibe. Sense. To me, it would be like the equivalent of like as a dancer wearing steel-toed boots and trying to, do a battle against another crew. Like, no, it's not.
I think some dancers might, like, it depends on the style.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Someone might do it, actually.
Yeah, but, like, the fact that you could do toe work, like, if it's steel toe, you could do that, or you could do some crazy
You can make
stomps.
that your thing. You can make that
your thing.
I just for me, it feels like the weighted keys, I feel a bit too heavy.
That's
and
true.
yeah, it's funny because a lot of people I've posted about this opinion and stuff, and like I've gotten
Controversy.
backlash. Yeah, but people that are like hardcore keyboard players, actually, that I know, quite a few of them have actually agreed with me. I find people that are learning piano, maybe it's more optimal for that type of setting, but. Yeah, like there's a guy in Toronto, I believe I was chatting with about this, and he was like, "Yeah, I prefer it too." So there are legion of us that prefer
the non-weighted keys.
But I understand. I understand.
Well, for you specifically, I can get that because when you listen to Jonny's music, it's like you get lost in the sauce, and it's like this. And for you to achieve that would require less weight on the fingers.
Yeah. It's just, it's like tension, and I kind of just like the lightness of it, and that being said, like, I think there's degrees of quality, like, there's keyboards that suck, that are like toys, that are not, so there's levels to it,
There's
right?
level, everything is nuanced,
yes,
y'all.
Yes.
There's no black and white in this life. When did you first get introduced to jazz, funk, soul, hip-hop? Do you remember?
Yeah, so it started out like my mom would get CDs from the library, like Herbie Hancock, Duke Ellington, all that kind of stuff. Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane, that record. I actually have a tattoo of it, the cover of it on me.
Nice.
Because that's how influential it was on my thigh here.
Of which artist that you're mentioning?
Thelonious Monk, John Coltrane. So there's a record, and it has very kind of line art, cool, iconic cover. So, yeah, I would say probably around age 10 or 11, maybe a bit younger. And then from there, I started just, those of us who remember, like, the LimeWire days and,
Napster!
all that. Napster, all that, Shariaza, all that stuff,
this
torrents.
Was, torrents downloading.
So, yeah, I was doing that. Sorry, I know I broke a lot of laws.
Everyone was doing it back then.
But I would go on and find, like, I would go on these sprees of, like, okay, who influenced this person and this, and like, so I go like, okay, I think Herbie Hancock unlocked a lot for me because that record, The Headhunters, I think came out in 75, maybe 76, and so much hip hop music and neo soul and all that kind of stuff. Like, he literally has a song on that record called Sly, so, like a tribute to Sly Stone, Sly and the Family Stone. So I think just from that record and that era, I kind of expanded a lot. So then I kind of got into like D'Angelo, Erykah Badu, Music Soul Child, and then more modern artists like Robert Glasper, I think, kind of took all that and fused that all together, kind of doing what Herbie was doing, but bringing in a little more modern sound of hip hop. So yeah, I think that all was kind of between the age of like 10 and 14, 15, and it just continued growing. I think like, I'm glad I went on these YouTube and just Googling rabbit holes of like similar artists to this, and then just each one checking out. Like there's an artist, Strange Fruit Project. I don't know, it's like a deep cut kind of hip hop. I was checking that out. I was checking out like LP and like super like underground hip hop stuff. Cannibal Ox. I don't know if like.
No, never heard of that.
But yeah, like I was checking out really abstract hip hop when I was like 14, 15. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then is that how you just started to go that trajectory?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I got gifted a laptop at some point by my uncle. He works in tech. And so he just like, here, like brand new MacBook, boom. And so I got into like GarageBand and Logic from there. Started making beats, and I think a lot of folks that play instruments and learn jazz, they typically will do a thing where they get to a certain point and then they're like, all right, I'm going to put out a jazz trio record and do this whole thing. For me, I kind of took a different approach, and I just continued making beats, and I wanted to fuse that with the jazz influence. And so instead of going into a studio and getting like an upright bass and drummer, I was like, well, I can just make all these beats myself and like throw in the jazz compositional influence with the hip hop. So yeah, I think I released my first thing in officially like 2018, something like that.
Wow.
I was mostly doing playing keys.
What was the name of that project again?
So it was a single called Sunrise.
Yes, I remember that.
And then the album was called Psychedelicate.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was kind of cool. Like I had mostly just been playing on other people's stuff and just a side session person. But yeah, I don't know. I was getting really into making beats and doing all that. So I finally was like, okay, I'll put my own stuff out. And it's led to a lot of cool stuff, and it's made its way around the world. Like I was in Japan a month ago and I found some of my vinyl in Tower Records in Shibuya.
What? Did you know that?
I knew
prior to?
I had kind of I knew, because I would get tagged on IG by some of these stores.
Yeah.
So I went on their site and I searched my name and like it said they had stuff in stock. So I like went to Shibuya and Shinjuku.
That's so cool. Were they stoked that you were there?
You know what's funny? So I went to like 4 or 5 shops. One of them was really stoked. They didn't put 2 and 2 together at first, and then they were like, oh, and then they're like, we get picture with you, and I was like, yeah. So they got me to sign a thing, and they were really stoked and doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
The Tower Records guy though was just like, I feel like he was just like fried. Like he had been overworked, underpaid, and he was just. I was like, hey, like I'm looking for this record. Like this is me. This is my vinyl, and he's like, oh yeah, it's over here. Like just super like. Probably needing a smoke break or something. But it's all good. Like I was really stoked, and it just being in that place. I don't know if anyone watching has been to Shibuya, but like Tower Records to me is just so iconic, and to
tell me about it. I don't know anything about Tower Records.
It's like Shibuya, like the Scramble Crossing. You see, it's in all these anime. It's this like. All these crosswalks going in like 10 different directions.
The originator of that crosswalk, because then after that, like Dundas Square started doing it. Other places were like, why doesn't everyone cross at the same time?
And and it's so crazy being there and being in that, and it's like it feels like Times Square in New York, but like times 50 of that.
Crazy.
And so Tower Records is this sort of it's this chain of record stores, but the one in Shibuya just is this at this iconic location, and I believe it's near the Shibuya 109, which is this kind of big fashion building. So to me, I kind of associate Tower Records with like fashion and culture and art, and just like to me it's similar to Amoeba Records in LA for anyone who's been there. But it's bigger. So picture like Amoeba, but like I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9 floors of that. Each floor is like Amoeba.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going in there and being like it's just they only had like 1 copy or 2 copies, but still I was like just the fact that it's there made its way there is really cool. So when I first started putting out music, I never necessarily was like I have to have this and this happen. It was just more like organic, like let me just do this and because I want to put it out. And for me, it's about creating something that I like and that I want to hear, and I think everyone should create from that place.
I remember that. I remember you releasing that, and what I thought was really cool was because prior to that, it's true, I only ever saw you play in bands with others, like Potato Head people and supporting other artists. Yeah. But you always had your signature style, which is right to go off. Which I really need to know, where do you go?
I don't know. I should ask myself that. But.
You're really caught by the ghost, you know? In house dance culture, they say, like, you get caught by the ghost. You're catching the ghost, right? So, anyway, and then having you release your own music, it really defined, like, oh, this is Jonny's style. Like, this is your signature sound. This is your style. And even now, me bumping this whole ride over... Wandering.
One of the newer ones.
Which came out in October of 2024.
Yeah.
Like that style and that signature of yours has carried throughout, which is really cool, And I find that it's actually it's exactly how you described what your sound is. Oh, cool. That mix of 90s video games meets Blue Note classics.
Yeah.
Like I feel that, and I'm curious to know, like, how did you come to develop your unique sound and style?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it just stems from what I grew up listening to and then discovering. And then I mean, I didn't bring this up yet, but I grew up playing video games a lot, and so I would say that really had a huge impact. Like, especially there's a video game called Sonic CD. Out of the Sonic the Hedgehog games, it's not as known as the other ones. The first 3 games are sort of the main, but Sonic CD for me had kind of like just this sort of acid jazz sort of. There's some D&B jungle, some kind of like funky house stuff on there.
Really? On that game?
Yeah.
Is that a newer game or older game?
No, I think it came out in like 93, 94.
Crazy.
I can show you some stuff after.
Do you ever look up who the music composers were?
Yeah, for sure. I can't remember the names, but that game was interesting because it had a separate Japan and US soundtrack, completely 2 different soundtracks from 2 different composers. But that game, for me, really, just thinking back, really had a huge impact because there was like really jazzy tracks in there, but with heavy electronic influence and stuff. So hearing things like that, I was like, and I think Michael Jackson, there's an urban legend Michael Jackson composed some of the tunes on one of the Sonic games.
Really?
Yeah. So
not surprised.
You can find, it's kind of a conspiracy theory, but yeah, you can find similarities to other stuff he put out, and it's
but would it have been Michael or Quincy?
Oh, good question.
Right?
Maybe both.
Maybe
Who
both.
knows? That would have been nuts. I'd still love if Quincy officially did like a video game soundtrack. But yeah, I would say video games and just the freedom that exists in that space really influenced a lot of what I do, and the sonic textures of it too, and just kind of all the synths and some of the quirkiness or some of the expression. Yeah.
You're actually really good at using words to describe sounds.
Oh.
Like, I find that a lot of musicians find it hard to describe.
It's easy to just say the word vibe like over and over again.
Yeah, it's kind of vibey.
It's a vibey
It's
thing.
a vibe.
I mean, I do that too, but I'm trying to get better with like actually defining it,
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Did you ever think, because now you are composing and making music for video games.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
So I've been doing that for a little while. A lot of
did you ever see yourself doing that?
Oh, good question. I don't know if I think it was always a dream to do. I don't know if I ever saw myself doing it, but it feels really gratifying to get to. I've done a bunch with my friend Ivan Barbu. We had still ongoing, but we've kind of, there's been no beef, no bad vibes, but just gotten busy with other things. But we had a composing kind of sound team called Hungry Squirrels. So we worked on a project for like a Neopets game, for those who remember Neopets.
Is that like Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi, yeah, kind of, yeah. Back from MySpace era. But they did a mobile game, so we did music and sound effects for that game. We did some VR projects. We did a thing for TransLink.
Cool.
Yeah, like a VR experience for them for the PNE a couple years back. Most recently I've been working on this game called Warship Jolly Roger, and it's a
what a name!
I know, it's from a French comic book actually.
Okay.
And the artist and writer from the comic are on the team of the game. And that opportunity actually just came from social media. And the director of the game, he used to run this hip hop blog called Word is Bond.
Yeah.
You heard of that one? Yeah. So he used to run that, and I think he'd even featured my music there back in the day before, maybe 10 years ago or something. And so he was making a game, and so he reached out and was like, would you be down to be part of this? So I've been part of that for the last, I want to say 2 years. It's a slow process, but he kind of said, we want you to do your thing on this, like more hip hop influenced and not just copy what other games out there are doing. So that's been a really cool thing to be a part of, for sure.
Oh, look who's joining us.
Oh, and he goes.
It was Napoleon, makes a first appearance. What a beautiful cat.
I know.
Y'all can't see, but I see. Aww. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
From, I guess, making music for video games to, collaborating and creating music and producing with artists to then also creating music for yourself. Like, what is the difference between the processes, and do you have a favorite or do you have a preference of? in terms of process?
Probably the favorite would be like this newest game I'm working on. And then, but the top would be making stuff for me. I know it's selfish, but what I find is that I know what I want to do. Yeah. And I think that sometimes there's a bit of an overthinking that happens when it's like with someone else and are they going to like it, or like worrying about the feedback, or, you know, trying to get on the same page. Some people I create really well with. Shout out to Jeanette King, who's one of the artists I did she dropped a project called Incantation. I was one of the main producers on that, on a bunch of the tracks. Yep. She's someone who I feel like when I produce stuff for that project, that's like me for me, kind of. Like something in my brain is the same as when I'm just doing my own music. But yeah, I sometimes find it can be challenging with folks, just sort of trying to get on the same page, or sometimes someone's like, you know, you have to go through like 50 different snare sounds to find the right one. But when it's for myself, I have a better sense of like, okay, here's what I want to do, and I can just quickly create. Like, I've had days I've made like 7 tracks in a day, 8 tracks in a day, just because I have a pretty strong sense of what I want to do. And I don't overthink. That's the biggest thing.
Do you see this on this hat?
Yeah.
Shout outs to Jamal, because this is his hat.
Okay.
He lent it to me.
Yeah. I might have to steal that hat too.
Yeah, the Cave Nicky Beats.
Yeah.
And yeah, that I rinsed through a bunch of episodes recently, and I love that. I love seeing the behind the scenes process.
Yeah.
You know, do you start somewhere? Do you start with drums? Do you start with keys?
Depends. Yeah, I would say usually drums though. I think that's probably the drums and bass.
Why?
And, I just want I want to dial in like the feel, I would say. Sometimes I might start with like going through synth sounds, and like a sound might start an idea up. But yeah, I would say usually drums, just because that kind of locks in the foundation, and then everything else you can kind of like work around, just establishing that pocket. Because I find, it's just inspiring. When you get a good drum feel, then everything else just easily flows for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Aw, Jonny, this is so dope.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about your, you mentioned in one of your bios, Saturday morning cartoons and cereal combos.
Yeah.
I was like, talk to me about cereal combos.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of, I have that in a bio.
As well as the Saturday morning cartoons. What did you watch and what did you eat?
What did I watch? I remember watching the Buzz Lightyear Disney cartoon, like Buzz Lightyear Star Command was one of them. DuckTales for sure. DuckTales, Darkwing Duck.
Yes,
you know,
I remember DuckTales.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else did I watch?
Were you the era of One Saturday Morning?
What is One Saturday Morning?
It would be like a series, and Recess was on that.
Oh, I love Recess.
Yeah, and it would be Recess, and then honestly, I can't remember any other, but there was like a series of cartoons that went on sequentially after the other, and all I ever woke up for and watched was Recess, because they would do a couple episodes in a row.
You know what, like, Recess was dope, too. Like, it just felt deeper than just, like, and, also, Arthur was another one that I really liked. Yeah. Arthur went deep. Arthur had some dope cameos, like Mr. Dressup appeared on it. No, not Mr. Dressup. Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers.
Shout outs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had like some hip hop artists or R&B artists on there. Like
Mr. Rogers taught me how to fold blankets and tie my shoes.
Yeah.
Okay, cereal combos. Let's go.
Cereal combos. Honey Nut Cheerios. Yes. Oatmeal Crisp.
Oatmeal Crisp. Is that the one that's kind of like cornflakey with almonds?
Yeah, and they would always have the ads. It's like the dad with the kid, and he was like, he's having it, and the kid wanted some, and he's like, no, you won't like it. It's not good, but it is really good.
It's too healthy.
Yeah.
It has almonds in it.
But it's really good. It's really it is sugary, I think.
All cereal.
Chex I like that one.
Because it was waffly, and then
Yeah.
the milk would get into the waffly.
The texture, it can get a bit soggy, and it's fine still.
I'm okay when it's like before it's too soggy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's that right. It's like the al dente of cereal. You know what I mean?
that is actually it.
Yeah.
Reese Puff cereal fam.
Yeah. You know what though? I wasn't allowed a lot of that.
Because it was too sugary?
Lucky Charms, too much, all that.
Yeah, I wasn't into Lucky Charms.
Uh,
Although I would pick out the marshmallows and put them in a hot cocoa.
Oh, that's a vibe. That's a hack.
Mm-hmm.
French Toast Crunch was a
yeah.
vibe. That was like a
Toast Crunch.
treat once in a while, yeah. Was it Sugar Crisp with the bear? With
I
like the turtleneck?
I wasn't into that one.
Yeah. I was into everything pretty much. So
Yeah.
I think I just kind of put that on my bio though as like, because I think it's important. Like I want to stand out and I want to, but not in a way where I'm forcing it. I'm just like, this is me. I like what I like. I think some people kind of like water down themselves. I don't think we need to do that. If you are into like nerdy specific things, whatever, like it doesn't really matter. Like just be that. Put that out there, like, so all my album art pretty much generally is like very colorful and cartoonish, and also for me it's important to connect with our inner child.
Yes.
And so for me all of that is just like symbolic of that. Like like I still like the show Recess. Like there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
It's great.
I
Great TV.
think one of the biggest ways that Recess, the show, please Google it if you do not know what we're talking about.
TJ Detweiler.
Yes! It was about like these group of kids, and it was all about what happened in their school during recess.
Yep.
Like it never really showed anything else, right? Like what happened on the playground.
Yep.
And there would be like, it would go into these deep portals with specific characters.
Yeah.
And I was so into the Ashleys. Like,
which one? Oh,
the
in the tire, the group of tires, right? Yeah.
And they had a Ashley Clubhouse. So it was like Ashley A, Ashley B, whatever. And
true.
they they pump up the stereotypes of like Ashley, right?
Yeah.
But then what's funny is Spinelli, who's the tough girl, was actually an Ashley.
Right.
That was her first name.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing when everyone found out. But my point is the clubhouse that they had that was built from tires, it was one of those things where on the outside it just looks small, but you go inside and it's like a universe.
Yeah.
And that has stuck with me forever because in terms of like designing events and experiences, I'm so inspired by like, I just want to design things that feel like you're walking into an expansive portal.
If I ever, when I get super rich and famous, maybe not famous, but we need to open a venue called the Ashleys, and it's just like shaped like tires, and then you go down, and it's like
the Ashley Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Free cover if your name's Ashley.
Yes, yeah.
Actually,
no, I'm serious though. If
you're rich,
when I really blow up, like hold me to that. That'll be Vancity's newest, hottest club.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What is your dream for yourself? Like, what do you want to achieve now?
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember when I was in university, we had to do these
goal setting things?
2-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year.
Yeah.
And I looked back on it a couple years ago and I was like, dang, like I've already done pretty much everything from the 10-year plan. I had already done it within like less than that, like probably 4 years.
Shout out what those things were.
Probably like, certain artists in Vancouver that I had wanted to work with. Like all of those worked with. Touring, playing overseas, I had done all that. Releasing music, learning about like DAWs, like Logic Pro, and producing all that. So I think those are some of the general goals I had. So for me now, it's more just like, I'm trying to just enjoy the journey. I don't really have, maybe it's bad that I don't really have specific dreams. I'm more just want to be at a place where I just continue to enjoy the music I put out and continue to grow where it reaching new pockets. I've already gotten the chance to open for some really dope artists. So like Braxton Cook, Cartoons, Addy Oasis, look all those three up, really dope. I think they've all done Tiny Desks too. For me, I guess with that, I want to do a Tiny Desk.
Ooh, that's a good one. one.
Yeah, so that'd be a specific goal.
Tiny Desk is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Ruby Ibarra just did Tiny Desk.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I posted
I
it.
gotta watch it. Okay.
Yeah, I also listened to it. Watched it today, and it was awesome.
It's that would be a cool goal. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more so just what I would love to happen is like something I'm working on now to just really get blow up, or something get placed in like a really cool project. Like I'd love to work with Ryan Coogler or Jordan Peele or something within the Star Wars universe. Like, so there's a lot.
I can see that for you.
Yeah, I mean, Thundercat literally did music for Star Wars, and he cameoed in Star Wars. So
really,
yeah, in the Book of Boba Fett, which people didn't really like, but he, there's a scene they walk into this bar, and there's this like boom, 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 crazy, and I'm like, is that Thundercat? And then he's in Star Wars, like he's playing. He has like a robotic arm, I'm pretty sure, and he's like fixing up people that have been like chopped in half and stuff, and like putting cybernetic parts. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this is so perfect for Thundercat, and his own music is playing. So
I would love to see that for you.
Yeah.
With some sort of Cyclops eye moment.
Oh yeah, that would be sick.
And then like crazy tentacle fingers that's going off on the keys.
Yeah. Like I mean, I look at like Ludwig Göransson, who if y'all know, he did the music for Black Panther. Okay. But prior to that, he had produced a lot of stuff. He produced that Childish Gambino album, Awaken My Love.
My Love, yeah.
And so he went from doing that to like scoring, and I think he did the score for Sinners, I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow!
So he's
I
worked.
Still have to watch that.
Me too, actually. I was waiting for streaming because I'm like, if it's too scary, or too gory or whatever, I'll just like look away at home. But Ludwig
cuddle my cat.
Ludwig Göransson was a cool example for me, like an inspiration, because he's worked on like The Mandalorian, like Star Wars projects. He's worked with Ryan Coogler. He's done hip hop production, soul music production, like, and that to me is an example of someone who kind of is versatile. So I think in my own way, I want to aspire to do some of that type of stuff and work in some of those spaces.
That's dope.
Yeah. So I don't have any specific like. But hey, if any of the people I named are watching this, reach out. I'd love to do something.
Dude. Yeah, you heard it here. We're going to look back on this archive one day. It's in the time capsule. Be like, yo, he called it out.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I need to know, Jonny, about D-Smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I have him on speed dial. No,
you can't be writing that on your bio and not talk about it. What's that moment?
Yeah, so that actually, again, similar to other things, happened through Instagram. And so, yeah, there's this producer he goes by the name of Beast. I think his handle is Woe Beast, and he doesn't even have, like, if you went to his page, you wouldn't know. Like, he's very humble and kind of like doesn't post very often.
Yeah.
But he's worked on some projects for bigger names, and so he had hit me up a while back, and we had some stuff, and I was like laying stuff on. We were kind of like co-producing stuff, and then this was way back, like probably 2015, and he said, "Oh, I have this track for this artist named D-Smoke," and like I was like
10 years ago.
I was like, I have no idea who D-Smoke is, but whatever. Like, I like working with this guy. He's in the UK, and I loved his vibe. So I was like, okay, I'll work on this thing with you. And he was we got the track back with the vocals on it, and I was like, cool, it's great. I love what he did. Really great MC, and again, no idea who he was. I think this was probably 2016 at this point.
Yeah.
And then Rhythm and Flow happened, and then he won that show.
Yes.
And I was like, oh shoot, this is the same guy, and the track still hadn't come out. So I was like, okay, it's probably never coming out. He's gonna drop everyone he's currently working with.
Yeah.
But then as soon as he wins, he drops this EP. And then the track wasn't on the EP, so I was like, okay, it's probably not happening. Then he drops a full album, and the track is on there.
Which track was it?
It's called Like My Daddy, and it's on the album Black Habits.
Okay.
Which got nominated for a Grammy.
Yes.
It lost to Nas. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I was part of that project, and yeah, it would have been cool to like directly
Work with
work
them.
in the room. Still would love for that one day. But yeah, just to be able to say I was part of this, and yeah, got the certificate and everything, you know.
Yo, that's tight. Like
yeah.
certificate of nomination.
Yeah, like so if you, yeah, even if you don't get the Grammy, you can still, if you can verify that you were part of this thing, yeah, you can apply to receive the certificate. So they give this out like it's like a participation trophy, but I think it's still dope. Like,
of course,
so
it's a
yeah,
Grammy.
so I got that hanging up in my office, and yeah, it was just kind of crazy because you realize like working on that bigger scale, how much red tape there is. Like there was probably like 10 emails from 10 different lawyers and like assistants and stuff, and like he's pretty big, but like compared to like Kendrick or something, like those guys are massive, but
yeah,
even still he had such a big team. So I was like, whoa, this is just how this operates in this world. And there's a lot of the stuff with the royalties of it all and stuff is very interesting, but yeah, I'm grateful for the experience, and it's just really cool to be able to say I was part of this. And you know, you sometimes you work on music that you're not necessarily a fan of, but you do it just because it's work. But this, I'm actually like a fan of him as an artist, so to be able to say I played a part in what he's doing is really dope. Yeah.
Did you watch the whole season or that whole season?
I did, yeah.
Yes.
There was some other really cool, like Ray Khalil was another one that stood out.
How about season 2? Did you watch that?
You know what? I haven't yet.
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was like controversial about who ended up winning.
Oh, okay.
Because it was J-Taj and oh my god, I'm so bad. Trey TL.
Okay, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's from Atlanta. So
Okay.
TL.
Yeah.
And he ended up winning, the guy from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And I think, you know, like in the end, it was like J-Taj is also from LA, from California, Santa Ana or something like this.
Okay, yeah.
And so I'm like, you can't have two West Coast cats winning for hip hop
Back to back.
Yeah. And also, Dre TL is really dope because he's repping Atlanta sound.
Yeah.
You know, and that it's so different.
Yes. It's good to represent the different components too, right? Like, you can't just have all East Coast or all West Coast.
Exactly.
You know, the South has something to say, right?
Oh my gosh. And the South has such flavor.
Yeah.
Like, if you're removed from it, it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
But, like, from, you know, the street dancers that I've met who are from there, it's like, even from the way that they dance, I feel like they have a closer connection to the music in terms of like the communities mixing. You know
what? I felt like that I went to Nashville in 2018, I think, or 2017, and I had some friends out there that I stayed with, so that was one of the main reasons. It was just easy to go, and I originally was like, oh, it's just gonna be all country music. I don't really love country that much,
and
unless it's good country, you know, like. There is good stuff, but yeah, I saw so much more, and there was like so much gospel and soul and blues, and even some of the country that I did hear live, there's like a soulfulness to it, and I felt like, in spite of all the racism and all that nonsense down there that's occurring, when I was in Nashville, the music scene, the folks that I got to see, it just felt like there was this real like unity happening, you know, like there would be bands like 5 black guys, 1 or 2 white guys, and they're playing like a Tim McGraw song, but they're throwing so much sauce in it, and there's players that are coming from the world of gospel, and like it has this feeling there of fusing all these things, and I really loved it. I think sometimes there's like this media spin on it that happens, but you actually get down there, and down south, when you're around the right people, it's really is a vibe.
That's so cool you mentioned that. Yeah, DJ Static was on the show last week, and he talked about Memphis, and he talked about how he had such an amazing time there.
Cool.
And I feel like those are definitely in my like list of places to go for music.
Yeah.
You know, music discovery.
Yeah. I think there's a IG page I follow called Nashville is Not Just Country Music, and they're really
name.
Yeah, I know it's a mouthful, but they're really trying to make an effort to like showcase like hip hop from Nashville and funk music from Nashville and R&B from Nashville and all that. So like there's definitely groupings of folks that are doing other stuff and really trying to showcase like we have way more to offer, right?
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready for our eats?
Let's do it.
Because
yeah.
I felt my
Let's do
belly
it.
rumble.
Let's do it.
Like I said, I brought this from a cafe that is on Broadway near Balaclava.
Ooh.
So like the west side, near McDonald Street. And it is called Just Another. It is a cafe by day, a wine bar by night.
Ooh, cool.
And this is where I got this smoked rosemary
Oh.
maple latte. And so we've got,
Dang.
we're all going to share these.
All right.
But we've got a matcha white chocolate chip cookie. We've got your good old classic chocolate chip cookie. These are crazy. Apparently this thing sells out. Like when I've gone in a late morning,
Yep.
this thing's gone.
So
But-
you got to line up like it's a Nike
Well,
shoe. No way. Like
you just
the
have
hype.
to be there early enough that it's
Yeah.
still there, you know? But this, they call this a pineapple sandwich.
Ooh,
And considering I was born in the Philippines and the islands are in my blood, I was like, we need to go tropical.
So what's your thought of pineapple on pizza?
I love it.
You like it? Yeah. Cool.
You?
I think it depends. Yeah. If it's like from Panago or something, then no.
Yeah.
But I've had like kind of more, more of a mom and pop kind of or artisanal type place that can do it well. Then it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, like
So I'm
good
down.
quality ham,
Yep.
good quality pineapple.
Yes.
Not from the can.
No,
Not Dole's.
No.
No. Yeah, I feel you on that. I don't think I really liked Hawaiian pizza as a kid much either.
Yeah.
Until I had it done or eaten, or I ate it from a place that had like legit
Oh yeah.
pineapple and ham. Okay, which do you want to try
All right.
first?
Let's go with this one.
Okay, so this is peanut butter.
Oh,
That's the pineapple.
Oh, that is okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this pineapple one then.
Let's do the pineapple.
All right.
one. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud.
That's really good. Yep.
It's giving croissant with pineapple and a cream filling.
It's nice and I know some people hate the word, but moist. Like it's not too dry. Like it has.
Why
a
do
nice,
people hate the word moist?
People are. I don't know. People are grossed out by it. We might have just lost like 5 viewers. I don't know.
Is that an internet thing?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Really?
But this has like
behind.
this has a nice like it's still. I mean, I assume you got this like earlier today, not like it's been a little while, and it still retains that. Like it's.
This is delicious. It's also kind of reminding me of pineapple buns. Like, you know the Asian pineapple buns?
Yep. Yep. It's really good.
Okay. I'm going to put that down.
Good.
Peanut butter. How do you feel about peanut butter?
Love it. Although it can, again, I'm assuming this is going to have the right moisture, but if it's too dry, it just gets like, but-
Yeah, your mouth is glued shut.
Yeah. So let's see how it goes. Cheers. That's another good one. Yep.
They did something with the peanut butter in this one.
Yeah, there's like some kind of icing.
There's
with
some
it
sort
or
of cream. I'm going to wash it down
This
with some.
goes well, I think, with this.
Even when the latte is cold.
You know what's funny? I actually never have hot drinks. I always get it iced.
Really?
Always, yeah.
Why? Do you run on the hot side? Is that why?
I think so, yeah. So I just like, I always do iced, so I'm fine with it not being super.
What's your go-to coffee drink?
I like a iced lavender latte. There's a place down the road from me called Craft Cafe that I just walk over there, get one of those, sit outside. It's really nice.
Are you a pastry kind of guy?
Yeah, all of these are the type of things I would get for sure. Yeah, strudels, all that. I love a good kind of artisanal donut. Like if you've been to Voodoo Donuts, like down in Portland, Seattle, yeah.
I was just there.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good. Although it's with the exchange rate, it's pretty expensive now, but they're huge. It's like a meal. One donut is like a meal there.
It's true.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is like I would even say it's actually kind of the same price because things are slightly cheaper in the American, but then you do the exchange rate, and then you're like, it is a $5 taco. It is a $6, and that's what they cost in Canada. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is Cardam's still around? They shut. Yeah.
They shut down recently, which is sad.
That
because
is, yeah.
They had some good donuts.
And it was vegan too. Like, I'm not vegan, but I do enjoy eating vegan food and like supporting that. So yeah, it's cool to have a spot like that. You can go with folks that are vegan. Yeah, it sucks. I remember I haven't been there in a while, but it was I remember that they had some really great flavors there.
Dude, and the chef was on that. You didn't wait for me.
Oh.
You just
Oh
went
no!
for it.
Oh no!
No, it's okay. Backtrack.
Okay.
Forget your palate.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got too excited.
I know. You're like when a plate of food is just in front of you.
When it goes to matcha time, then we'll then I'll wait.
So this is chocolate chip cookie, which is my favorite flavor of cookie. You?
Yeah, I think I would say so. This when it's chocolate chip like this, when it's kind of gooey and like the right consistency, yeah.
I could do salt, like some sea
yeah.
salt.
Yeah. Or like, have you had those ones that's chocolate chip, but then there's like little caramel chunks in there with the salt too?
Like salted caramel.
Salted caramel, but there's like a little fudge kind of caramel. Yeah.
There was one.
So good.
Oh man, I'm bad. I can't remember the name of the bakery. It might have been Annabelle's studio. Have you been?
Never been.
On, I'm going to say Ontario and Kiefer.
Okay.
Or it's Colombian Kiefer. Across the street from the park where all the soccer players play.
Oh, okay. Yep.
There is a spot called Annabelle's.
Annabelle's, okay.
And she is like a cult following for her pastries.
Oh.
Because she used to work at several cafes, and now she opened up her own studio.
Ooh.
And she does a miso chocolate chip
Whoa.
cookie. And it's the salt and the sweet, man.
The salt of the miso, I guess, does that.
That's it. Who would have thought?
I know, cause yeah, I would never associate that with like a dessert kind of thing.
Me too. That was the first time I heard of it.
Okay, we're gonna do this properly now.
Properly now.
I'll redeem myself.
Matcha, white chocolate chip.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Cheers. Matcha is interesting. Like it always has that interesting aftertaste. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about white chocolate. It's good, but it's almost like vanilla cakey.
Yeah, like
You know
it feels
what I
like
mean?
it's like putting sugar on top of syrup or something like extra.
That.
This feels like a little. Yeah, I think the chocolate chip one was just
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. Man, we've gotten to chat so much.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
We got 2 minutes left on this live stream. I have time for another question. And I definitely want to ask you about, Vancouver's music community and who are you stoked on right now?
Who am I stoked on right now?
Who do you feel like those watching on, TELUS subscribers out there in the Alberta and British Columbia region, who they need to look up on their Spotify?
You should check out. Why did I just go blank? I had like a couple of names in my head. Go check out K-Pop. I don't know when he's releasing next.
Big fan.
K-Pop is dope. Another artist that's kind of on the come up, a singer named Haley Wallace. I don't know if you've heard of her.
No.
Yeah, she's kind of like R&B, folky vibes. Really good.
From Vancouver?
Yeah, I believe she's originally from. I can't remember where. Somewhere on the island. Yeah, she's an Indigenous artist and just really, really dope. Really cool, rich voice. She has a couple singles out. Potato Head People, of course, are really dope.
Yes.
I don't know if he has any music actually out, but there's a keys player named Justin Juan. He's a bit younger, Filipino guy. He put on this really cool show a few months ago, like a Devin Morrison tribute night at Guild.
Okay.
With like Nina Mendoza was also part of it. So check him out too. Justin won. I'm trying to think who else. Who can I shout out? Vancouver. Only Vancouver, right?
Well, you know, whatever.
Well, I would say
Anyone who's present and alive in your life musically right now that you're like...
Tanika Charles.
Of course.
Toronto. Mike Hiltron, Toronto as well. I've worked with them both, but even if I hadn't worked with them, I would say like you have to go check them out. Mm-hmm. Who else? Who else? Vancouver.
I really love Tanika Charles, by the way.
I know you guys know each other too, right?
Yeah, from back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, there was one time I took a photo when she had gotten signed to one of, like, early on when she was with this record label. And, like, there's a photo I snapped of her that then became her iconic photo that she kept using. Like, it was like on Dundas Square.
Which one is it?
It's the one with the big, like, she'd be looking like Billie Holiday.
Oh, you did that?
I took that photo.
Oh,
yeah,
nice. That's sweet. Yeah.
And it was cool because it was, like, fully candid. It was like the moment that her, maybe it was the label manager or somebody was talking about her, and she was just smiling, and I was like...
Well, she, like, kills it with the candids. Like, obviously the pose one, she's great, but I feel like she just has such a infectious smile, and, like, when you just capture that, like, I think her manager now, he also does photos for her, and so he's so great at just capturing those moments as well. Shout out to Michael, best manager in the world. And yeah, like... I think if you can capture her in that, it's great. So obviously you did that. That's great. I love that.
That was an amazing moment, and I'll hold that forever.
That's
in
like
my heart.
Connective lore between worlds, like crossing over. Yeah.
I love how the word lore has come back.
I know, right?
Right?
Yeah.
It's so good. It really describes something that like there's no other word for it. Like story.
Yeah.
Boring.
No, lore. Yeah. Make it elevate it.
Elevate it, but lore also implies like, is it true? This is what I heard.
The legend.
Is it myth? Is it legend?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who are your sources? Doesn't matter. This is what's buzzing around.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Oh, Jonny, it's been good. Thank you so much for being our 94th episode, our 94th interview, I should say.
Yeah.
It's been so nice, like, hearing more about your music, your process, your hopes, your dreams. And yeah, to just sit down and eat yummy things with you.
Oof. Yeah, sorry for that one where I didn't wait, but
it's okay. You're forgiven. Shout outs to everybody who's tuned in, who's watching the replay. We appreciate you. Up next, from here on, we are taking the show to Nanaimo and Victoria region, so Vancouver Island. Some really dope artists and creatives and store owners and ... question mark. You will have to wait to find out. But yeah, my name is Kazi. This is Jonny Tobin. Let the peoples know where they can find you.
Instagram, Jonny Tobin Music. TikTok, Jonny Tobin Music. YouTube, Jonny Tobin Music. Subscribe to my channels. Do all the things. Music on all platforms. 6 albums out. Just dropped a single the other day.
Ayo!
Smash Brothers Melee video game cover.
Yes.
We didn't even get to that, but yeah, that's out. So
yes,
yeah,
check that
it
out. Okay, y'all. Peace. Much love. This is Vancity. Beats, Eats.